Insurance has over 89 years of experience, so you can get ready for all kinds of mishaps. We've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything. Put our experience to work at farmers.com.
이게 뭔 말이야?
그 인surance company dad.
무슨 컴퍼니?
Farmers.
파머스가 뭐 하는 회사야?
Insurance company, I said,
아,
dad.
인슈런스 컴퍼니?
Yes, sir.
오케이.
Seth Williams. Hey, what is Kristen Johansson covering this? She is back with the update. Chris, what's happening today?
This morning, Joseph Sullivan, who was chief inspector at the time in 2011, he was covering homeland security issues at the airport when District Attorney Seth Williams asked him to help.
우리 남동이 서비스를 잘하고 아비를 잘 가르쳐주고 잉글리시 프로페서로서 너무 이뻐. 계속 삼촌 이모션 컨트롤 잘할 수 있도록 계속 해야 돼.
Yes, sir.
알지?
Responding, and he inquired about Ali's status to top officials. At the request of Williams, Sullivan said that Williams asked for his help in getting Ali through customs on a 2012 trip back from Punta Cana, a flight that Williams was also on but never told Sullivan about.
That was shocking.
Now, Sullivan spoke to reporters after his testimony and said that the DA asked to meet with him and Ali at the Union League in 2013. And Sullivan said he went there, he thought that this would be some sort of new information about Ali's case. And he said that he left the meeting very uncomfortable and thought it was a very well-rehearsed story.
If you do this job for 36 years, it's not something you always put your finger on. I just felt something wasn't right. And I felt that the best course of action was to run that through my counterparts here at the FBI.
And he was told by the feds after that to leave the case alone, and he said that he also relayed that to Williams. See, the jury is also hearing from Michael Weiss this afternoon. He's listed as business owner number 2 in that indictment.
Thank you for that, Kim. It was Kristen Johansson covering the trial. Now moving on to the business report as we check in with Jeff Bellinger, Bloomberg Business. How's it going so far? Well, markets just turned positive across the board, Steve. Dow Jones Industrials up 41 points, 21,436. The Nasdaq's up 1.5 points now. It had been lower, and the S&P 500 is up 5 points. The Bloomberg KYW Index is up 0.8%. More on the index and the Philly companies behind it at cbsphilly.com/business. There was a surprisingly large decline last month in demand for big-ticket items from the nation's manufacturers. The Commerce Department reports orders for durable goods declined 1.1% in May. The Tokyo-based company behind the massive auto safety recall has filed for bankruptcy protection in Japan and in the U.S. Takata Corporation has been overwhelmed by lawsuits and recall costs related to Gucci airbags made for at least 17 deaths and 180 injuries. And Office Depot has licensed the 1970s rock anthem Taking Care of Business as the theme for an advertising campaign. Steve will be hearing a modernized version of the song in the chain's latest commercials. Thank you for that, Jeff Bellinger, Bloomberg Business. Attention small business owners. To get funding to grow your business. Next Wave Funding is a direct funder that can help you get the cash you need when you need it, even if your credit is not that great. If you've been in business for over 1 year, have at least $12,000 in sales every month, Next Wave will purchase your future earnings and give you the money you need. It's as simple as that. This is by far the easiest and best funding for existing businesses. Call 800-430-4566. That's 800-430-4566. Worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual saved me almost $800 when I switched my home and auto insurance. Liberty did what? Yeah, I got the perfect coverage for us, and I didn't have to worry about skimping on him as party. Well, that explains the birthday ever.
Visit us online to get a quote. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide survey of new customers, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company. 80 degrees, temperatures holding steady. Kimmel Center is proud to present Buddy, the Buddy Holly story. From his meteoric rise to fame in 1957 through his tragic death less than 2 years later, Buddy Holly influenced modern music like no other performer of his generation. Featuring over 20 of Buddy Holly's greatest hits, including That'll Be the Day, Peggy Sue, Oh Boy, Every Day, Not Fade Away, Words of Love, and many more. June 24th through July 9th only. Tickets at 215-893-1999 and KimmelCenter.org. KYW, KYWHD, and WIPFM HD2, Philadelphia. They've been saving people money for over 50 years. Now, Philadelphia, Southern New Jersey, and Delaware Valley, it's your turn to save. Discount Tire is open near you. That's right, Mavis Discount Tire. Now with 40 area locations, you can stop overpaying for tires. Check out our low tire prices, huge selection, and find a store near you at MavisTire.com. That's Reporters Roundup for now. Thanks for listening. We're back at 3:30 and 5 o'clock, Friday, July 7th. Join us live 12:30. The shops at Liberty Place. KYW News Time 1 o'clock.
Live from historic Philadelphia, the birthplace of American liberty and home to the brand new Museum of the American Revolution.
This is KYW News Radio 1060, the news authority in Philadelphia.
It's Monday, June 26, 2017. Good afternoon. CY Michelle Durham. Scattered clouds, 81 degrees. Temperatures will leave getting out in the news this hour. We're going to start with traffic at an Oakland Traffic Center. Commodore Barry Bridge closed in both directions for a vehicle fire. The live report from the traffic center coming up. The U.S. Supreme Court is allowing a portion of President Trump's travel ban to go into effect while they agree to hear the issue in October. Republican senators anxiously awaiting the grade their health care measure receives from the Congressional Budget Office.
On Joe Ramsey, government website, the target of hackers with Islamic messages.
In sports, the Phillies finish up their series with Arizona, checking business. The Dow's up 44, Nasdaq up 0.89, S&P 500 up 5 1/4.
I'm CBS 3 meteorologist Matt Peterson. For this afternoon, mostly sunny and a high of 81. Tonight, we'll go with a few spotty showers with an overnight low of 64 degrees. For our Tuesday, 79 shower and thunderstorm possible in the afternoon with partly cloudy skies, and it gets very warm for the end of our work week. Once again, we're going to break down the 5-day forecast when we check out witness weather on KYW News Radio.
At the CBS Broadcast Center, 81 degrees. Temperatures holding steady. WW News Time 102. Let's get a look at traffic and trends on the tube.
We've got a couple of major problems. First off, the Commodore Barry Bridge is closed in both directions due to a vehicle fire that is on the New Jersey-bound side. We also have 95 northbound, and an accident with an overturned vehicle that's approaching Girard. Everybody needs to stay over to the left on that. Traffic is very slow from Penn's Landing up to that point. And now we have a car fire on the eastbound Vine Street Expressway, and they are detouring everybody off at Broad. Now, if you haven't been detoured yet, make sure to stay all the way to the left on this one as well. Again, that's the eastbound Vine Street Expressway at 8th, but they're detouring everybody off at Broad. That is another vehicle fire. Now, we're not seeing any big problems on the Schuylkill Expressway. The earlier crew that was out there westbound that was at 202 is now gone, so that's some great news. So our delay is going to be westbound from right around the boulevard out through the Conshohocken curve. That's very typical. And then eastbound right through the Conshohocken curve. We've also seen some heavy traffic out to Belmont. Looking pretty good right now on the PA Turnpike and the Northeast Extension, 422, no reported problems. And in New Jersey on 55 northbound, heavy traffic getting up to 42. And we're also seeing a bit of slow traffic, 55 southbound just south of 40 on the Walt Whitman Bridge. Heavy traffic heading into Philadelphia, but that's really our only other bridge issue. Did want to let everybody know the westbound flat bridge, that construction that was out there is now gone. Next update, less than 10 minutes. I'm Stevie Reese in the TrueMark Financial Credit Union 24-hour traffic center.
Thank you. KYW News Time 103. The Supreme Court will hear arguments on President Trump's travel ban and letting the ban partially take effect. Now, CBS News senior legal analyst Andrew Cohen has more.
There are a couple of things happening here. First, the justices have accepted both of the travel ban cases for review and have consolidated them. So both the East Coast and the West Coast travel ban cases now are on the docket, but there will be no emergency hearing or expedited briefing schedule. The cases will be heard instead in October when the court begins its next term.
The court is allowing the ban to go into effect for foreign nationals who lack, quote, any bona fide relationship with any person or entity in the U.S. The court left the travel ban on hold as applied to non-citizens with relationships with persons in the U.S. or entities, which includes most of the plaintiffs in both of those cases. The court cited examples of former relationships to include students accepted to U.S. universities and an employee who has accepted a job with a U.S.-based company. A local reaction to the Supreme Court ruling on President Trump's travel ban coming in. And here's KYW Community Affairs reporter Cherry Gregg with that part of the story.
I expect a fair amount of confusion. Molly Tack Hooper is a staff attorney at the ACLU of Pennsylvania. She was on the front line when the first travel ban rolled out back in January. And while she believes the ruling is clear that those individuals with connections
admission to U.S. citizens or institutions are exempt from the ban. Expect delays. Travelers from the 6 banned countries will be questioned extensively about their ties to the United States. Dreadful political side, Professor Bill Rosenberg says while the court's decision is a win for the Trump administration politically, the actual win is limited.
All he's really got at this point is an agreement to allow the ban to stand in an amended form.
Oral arguments in the case will take place in the fall. In the meantime, immigration advocates expect more litigation. Jerry Gregg, KYW News Time 105. Several Senate Republicans have said they cannot support the GOP healthcare reform plan in its current form. Correspondent Suzanne Malveaux says Republican leadership trying to gauge how much the CBO score will affect the support for the bill.
Senator John Cornyn, the majority whip, number 2 Republican, trying to get a temperature check from senators, and especially how the CBO score could impact what they end up voting for. One of the things they're going to be looking at is how it compares to the House CBO score.
Now, the CBO scores from the Congressional Budget Office. The Senate Republican leaders are hoping to get their new health care bill by the end of the week. With a thin majority, they have little margin for error in a final vote count. So the Senate bill is similar to a House GOP bill that narrowly passed last month, and both measures aim to replace Obamacare. KYW News Time 106. Let's get a look at our 5G forecast now.
Mostly sunny to sunny skies throughout the afternoon hours on our Monday with a high temperature today, 81 degrees. Overnight tonight, a few clouds roll on in, a spotty shower not ruled out for tonight as well as we dip down to 64. Partly cloudy with a shower or an isolated thunderstorm on Tuesday with a high of 79. The middle of our work week on Wednesday, we'll see mostly sunny and comfortable conditions with an afternoon high temperature of 81. The heat and humidity is back in the forecast for the second half of our work week. We'll go with partly cloudy skies. A high temperature of 87 on Thursday. North of the city, we could see a late day shower. And then on Friday, a high of 90, partly cloudy, and a shower or a thunderstorm back in the forecast as well. With your eyewitness weather forecast, I'm CBS 3 meteorologist Matt Peterson on KYW News Radio.
Not the CBS broadcast on a gorgeous day. Temperatures now holding steady at 81 with scattered clouds, and KYW News Time 106.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's
been diagnosed with cluster headaches, or you've been experiencing headache attacks on one side of the head that are often accompanied by watery eyes and a runny nose. Please call to learn if this cluster headache study is right for you. Call the study coordinator now at 215-622-9880. That's 215-622-9880. Once again, that's 215-622-9880.
Traffic reports in your Twitter feed. The latest backups as they develop from the KYW 24-hour traffic center. Direct from our traffic team watching the jam cams. They'll tweet what they see. It's brand new on Twitter. Search for the handle KYW Traffic and follow the fresh traffic trouble.
The Syrian Democratic Forces began assault on Raqqa and have isolated the Islamic State inside the city. And CBS News correspondent Holly Williams is right in the middle of it. Part of our team moved forward. They were spotted by an ISIS sniper. Our producer, Omar Abdulkader, had no choice but to make a run for it. They were safe but pinned down by at least 2 snipers. They're worried that a suicide car bomb. The coalition continues to rid that terror group from Iraq's second largest city. Coalition spokesperson described the delicate balance of removing all of the ISIS fighters while protecting the citizens and saving them from starvation. Gasoline prices fall again, this in line with the cost of crude.
With summer here and many of us on the road.
The average gasoline price, regular grade, is now $2.32, and it's down 7 cents over the past 2 weeks.
Industry analyst Billy Lundberg says that's due to lower prices.
The possibility of further cuts is very high. Unless oil prices bounce back up, we may have a few more cents.
As for highs and lows,
in this panel of cities, San Francisco is the high at 306, and the low is Charleston, South Carolina, 191.
Tom Foti, CBS News.
Major wildfires scorching thousands of acres in the western part of the U.S. Crews battle the blazes as residents forced to wait and hope the best.
The Brian Head Fire in Utah is causing the most concern. It's the largest active wildfire in the nation, scorching more than 42,000 acres thus far. The entire town of Brian Head was forced to evacuate, and residents there are waiting to see if their homes will survive.
It's heart-wrenching. I get it.
You know, there's cabins up there that are generations old.
Nearly 20 other fires are being fought across Arizona, California, New Mexico, Nevada, and Oregon. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
The annual Conference of Mayors continues to meet Miami. They will hear today from former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, an outspoken critic of the Trump administration. Now, they spent much of the past 2 days talking about climate change and healthcare.
More than 250 mayors recommitted themselves to meeting the goals set forth in the Paris Climate Accord. They said they're already facing the challenges presented by a warming Earth every day. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio.
The mayors of this country are pointing out the real problems, doing everything we can with our own local resources to address them and our own local leadership to address them.
Many Republican mayors joined their Democratic